Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 24th of July going through until Sunday the 30th of July 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you guys as always. I'm going to give you a rundown of what the planets are doing this week, how they create energy amongst themselves. And the point of these horoscopes is to try and understand that energy, to see how the planets are going to influence you this week in a positive way so that you can make the most of those positive kind of aspects, and to look at some of the potential pitfalls of the week in order to avoid them. Now, I've had a look at what's coming up this week, and I have to say, it's not the easiest week in the world. I think you're going to feel a little grumpy, a little critical, and if things don't go exactly the way you want them to go, I think there's room for you to get a little bit irritated. So the main thing about this week is just to keep your cool and to deliberately go into situations in a way that's open-minded and willing to learn and to remain teachable, I think is the key for this week. So let's have a look then, starting with Monday the 24th of July. We have the moon in Libra and it opposes Chiron in Aries. So we've got an opposition here at the very beginning of the week, which kind of explains the conflict of what you're feeling. So the moon is really what makes you feel at ease and at home. In Libra, it's in an air sign. It's about communication. It's about being compromising and considerate and really working in a way that's designed to maintain the community or the team. It's not just me, I want to get my way, and whatever you guys think is irrelevant to me. It's much more, how can we work together? How can we as a team achieve something great that we all kind of care about, where we share a vision? It's really a kind of a process of how can we do this together. And with the opposition, so it's 180 degrees away from Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and that opposes Libra, the seventh sign of the zodiac, right? So where Libra is about community and creativity and doing something in a way that includes other people, Aries is about doing things on your own. Making the decision, setting the goal, taking the action, overcoming obstacles. It's really a completely different approach. You could say that Aries, the approach is, I'm the boss, I'm gonna have to do things myself to get them done. And Libra is, we're all part of the same team here. If we work together, we'll get things done very well. And you and I both know that both strategies are necessary, both strategies work and fail, and that there are times when one or the other is the best way forward. It's just about picking. So with these two being in opposition, there's this constant push and pull between, am I the boss here? Do I say what goes? Or should I calm down a little bit and align myself with other people are thinking, and maybe I should just kind of blend in? And that back and forth and inability to decide around that could cause a little bit of irritability and put you on edge. The Libra moon also sextiles Mercury in Leo. Mercury is the communication planet, and in Leo it is not subtle. Mercury in Leo wants to be on stage singing an aria, wants to get a round of applause, and wants to have roses thrown at it, okay? Mercury, the communication planet, is as loud as it can get. It wants center stage. It kind of has an assumption that, do you know what, it doesn't really matter if I'm an expert in this field, I still want to talk about it. So, as you can see, Mercury in Leo kind of leans into the side of Chiron and Aries, or it certainly doesn't make this conflict any easier, because it says it's not so important to sit back during the meeting or the seminar and to listen. What's really important is that you get your point across. The Libra moon also quincunxes Jupiter in Taurus and then Uranus in Taurus. So the thing about this is that if you decide to kind of do it your own way and to take action based around that, you'll see a lot of results very quickly. But the problem is that you may see big results which aren't necessarily what you had planned to start out with. So I would say then, with Mercury in Leo kind of tipping the scales towards you being completely self-governed, and Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus saying there can be serious consequences to these actions, I think on Monday particularly, it's important to kind of keep an open mind and to say, I am not the only person on this planet. Maybe someone else does know something I don't. Maybe I should listen. So on Monday the 24th, there may be a bit of conflict in the air, obviously because of this restlessness that you're feeling, and disagreement when it comes to the details. So, like I said, you may not be particularly willing to see another person's point of view, and you're going to be likely to prefer sticking to your own way of doing things. And what I've said, and what I'm going to continue to say about Monday the 24th here, is being open to new ideas and new ways of doing things is a good thing. Try that out. You'll be surprised at the positive outcomes you get from that, even if personally it may feel a little irritating, because you may sit there and think, I could do this so much better. Okay. You know, if you look at it that way, at least you're engaged, at least you care about things, at least you're trying to get things done. So you're in the middle of life, it's just about tweaking the little edges and making sure you have a smooth way forward. On Tuesday the 25th of July, we have the moon still in Libra. So the people around me, my friends, my family, who do I love? How do I express myself in a loving way? What about my personality, my charisma, my charm, my ability to draw people to me? And also, what can I express creatively? So that's actually interesting, because the Libra moon here on Monday, Tuesday, and Mercury in Leo, it's a great time for artists and performance artists and writers and public speakers to express themselves, because the Libra moon allows your charisma to come through, and then Mercury in Leo is that strong desire to speak up. So if you're gonna have this drive to speak up and you're super charming, then you might as well say something, right? It'll work in your favor. So the Libra moon squares Pluto in Capricorn. So by presenting yourself, ideally, and this is where it gets complicated, if you present something creatively, something of your own, good, it can have a positive effect. But remember what I said about Monday, that it's a good idea to kind of consider what other people are doing and to remain teachable. So with the Pluto and Capricorn connection, I feel that on Tuesday, if you've kind of discussed something and you've worked as a team to decide a way forward, and then you take action based on that decision that was mutually agreed upon, there we go, that's where you really shine. And if you take those kind of actions on Tuesday, with Pluto being transformation and change, death and rebirth in Capricorn, it can have significant implications with your working life. The same way Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus on Monday, and anything that you do can have a really profound impact in your practical circumstances, Tuesday continues that trend, but puts the onus and the focus very, very strongly on your career, on your work, or what you're working towards or on. On Tuesday, the Libra moon also squares Mercury in Leo, so you're still not overly subtle. You still want to be in the spotlight and have your voice heard. Venus in Leo, so it is my joy and my pleasure to create publicly. I want to, I need to. And it quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So you're super creative, you're super personable, and you're massively connected to your own imagination, the realms of spirit, and you're intuitive. The moon enters Scorpio at 6:55 in the evening. So that's kind of interesting. If you look at the glyph of Libra, it's like a bridge with a bump in it, and it's about working out issues between you and other people to create harmony in this wonderful social environment, right? The moon in Scorpio is about diving beyond the surface of things and getting to the root cause of what's going on and saying, what is really happening here, and how can I get the answer, shine light onto this truth in order to transform it or to resolve it. So you become even more intuitive as the day goes on. The Scorpio moon then squares the sun in Leo and trines Saturn in Pisces. So there's this real confidence that says, if I feel it, it is my duty almost to express this creatively. So there are going to be a lot of artists this week on Monday, Tuesday, feeling very guilty if they haven't painted the masterpiece yet. And that's okay. It's kind of a really strong motivator to produce something good. So watch out on Monday, Tuesday. It's really not the easiest time, but like most things in life, when things are gray, not just black and white, then there's friction and tension, and things happen in that neutral area where there's friction on either side, because the journey isn't done yet. The game hasn't been won or lost. It's anyone's game at this point, right? So Mercury in Leo makes you, oh, I want to express myself. Venus in Leo, I am the most creative person on earth and I want to express that. And the Sun in Leo is, well, I'm confident. Of course I can express myself. I'm a human being just the same way everyone else is. No one is better or worse than me. So I have just as much of a right to enjoy myself and the process of life and to express my opinion and to insert myself in the conversation, most importantly. And then Saturn in Pisces is amazing because it's like, this is my spiritual truth, or this is my truth. Therefore, I have faith in it. And that sounds overly simple, but that is a huge journey that people can spend years and years on to say, if I feel it, does that give me the confidence or the sense of, because I feel it's true, it entitles me as such to express myself about it. So you see the complication. You're very certain, then other people are going to be certain of their stuff. How do you meet in the middle? Ultimately, I'm seeing that a quilt made by lots of people rather than just one person is going to be far more interesting and beautiful at the end. On Wednesday, the 26th of July, we've got the Scorpio moon opposing Jupiter in Taurus, which is interesting because I feel certain things, and if the real world, if the circumstances of my life don't reflect that, I might get a bit grumpy and angry again, or frustrated. The Scorpio moon trines Saturn in Pisces, so it's like, I know the way things should be. Why aren't they? Why aren't things the way they should be? It sextiles Mars in Virgo. Oh, okay. So Wednesday is a little bit of a problem because you're so certain of yourself. I know the way things should be. Mars in Virgo is like, I analyze, I make sense of, I create meaning. It's almost like you feel you're the boss of the universe here on Wednesday and what you say goes. And when you become so overweening in your own rightness and in your own opinion, it can signal the calm before the storm. It's kind of like before what? Pride comes before a fall. So just relax a little bit. Not everyone, as human beings, we are not privy to all the information of the universe. We just simply don't have access to it at the moment. So thinking that you do is a little bit of an error. I think I'm right, even though I'm not. The Scorpio moon also quincunxes Chiron in Aries. Just gonna wait for this thing to go by. So Chiron in Aries says, if I want to heal myself, if I want to live a good life, then I have to do exactly what I want all the time. I can only do things that I like. Anything that I don't like is a waste of my time. So you're like, you know, and it's not comfortable for yourself or for anyone involved or around you. So I would say that find a way of expressing yourself creatively and presenting your ideas and your vision so that you tick that box. But then once you've got it out, that you leave it and you're like, okay, well, now I've got my side across. I can engage with other people on a more balanced level. Mercury in Leo then quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So this is wonderful in the sense that your intuition is really, really heightened. So if you do readings or healing with people, if you do Reiki or you read tarot cards or you're a psychic or you use runes or anything like that, it's going to work really well. Also, you're not going to be afraid of expressing your opinions. Or, you know, sometimes when I do personal readings for people, I get very strange information. Like, I'll get something like, suits. This man is strongly linked to suits or something. You know, something that seems totally random. But in readings, when I trust that, 99% of the time, that's then right, no matter how random or arbitrary it seems. And here on Wednesday, if you have trouble trusting your own intuition, or you go back and forth and you're like, oh, am I just making this up, or is this really coming from my higher self? Then Wednesday is a great day to get clarity and to if it feels right, to be able to deliver that message, no matter how random it may seem. So on Wednesday, your intuition is so strong, it comes through and it's very easy for you to hear it and it supports you in a practical way. So what I mean by that is really practical consideration. So if you get the message, go to the restaurant or avoid the conversation with your boss. Make sure you listen to that guidance. It's not going to let you down. You're analytical when it comes to yourself and what you're trying to do, but when it comes to analysis applied to real world problems, you may not be super focused on those because you're listening to so many things. You're considering other people, you're listening to your higher self, and you're doing the analysis in a real world sense. The connection with your inner self and higher self may feel louder and stronger. And then you're also thinking about other people. So if you're making sense of things, or you're working to get things organized or analyzed, yep, make sure to double check all the information that you're working with so that you don't make any mistakes. Okay, I'm just going to move a little bit out of the sunshine. I like having people in the back. I remember I was doing a video in Miami once when I visited my sister in Florida, and I was sitting there talking and I was talking about something really like serious and like personal to me and really important, and I didn't notice, but a mother with her child walked up the path, and the kid walked up to me and kind of looked at the camera and stuff and stood right behind my shoulder, and I didn't even notice. It was so funny. I only saw it when I played the tape back afterwards. Anyway, Thursday the 27th of July, we've got the Scorpio moon opposing Uranus in Taurus. So the day before it opposed Jupiter in Taurus, now it opposes Uranus in Taurus. So you're digging your heels in even more. I want total control of my life. I want no drama. I want no chaos. And again, sorry to break it to you, or if I am breaking it to you, whenever I've gone into that mode, I want life to go my way, and I want everything to be nice and quiet and to run smoothly and effortlessly. Doesn't usually work out that way. Plus, you're setting yourself up for a major temper tantrum, because, I mean, usually in life, things don't go 100% smoothly all the time, do they? The Scorpio moon then also squares Venus and Mercury in Leo, so you're still very confident and creative. It trines Neptune in Pisces and sextiles Pluto in Capricorn, and quincunxes Chiron in Aries. So there's a lot here. Listening to your intuition and taking action based on that can still have profound effects. But with the opposition with Uranus and Taurus, this is the day, if things are going to go wrong, or if things are going to turn out in a way that you hadn't considered or planned for. Thursday is when it will happen. Mercury in Leo conjuncts Venus in Leo, and so those two meet on this day. A conjunction is when two planets kind of sit together and blend their energies together, and they quincunx Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. So your confidence, your charisma, your need to kind of get your point across, that reaches its peak on Thursday. And again, if you're in a position where you have expertise in a particular subject, or you're talking to people from a place of trying to identify and gather information, or if you're a creative person trying to articulate your point of view on the world, Thursday is a good day to do it. Okay, so Thursday, the conflict of Monday, me or them, that's shifted now on Thursday into you being super certain that you're right all the time. And there's an unwillingness now to see anything from the perspective of someone else. So it's not the best day to hash things out with a friend or to do group work, because you're incredibly rigid and you're like, well, thank you for sharing that, but I'm right, okay, so zip it. That's not conducive to people feeling heard and appreciated. So if you're the boss, and if you're gathering the team in order to brainstorm and to get feedback, but then you do all the talking in the meeting, then that's not going to work. So if you're trying to take control of something personal, that's a good idea. Something that involves you controlling yourself and your life. So for instance, an addiction. If you have an addiction, looking at that and looking to resolve it on Thursday the 27th is a good idea, because you're so over the top that you want to control something, and things that have eluded you personally, things that you haven't been able to control in yourself personally, it's likely that you'll be able to master those. So, if you're still smoking and you don't want to be, if you're still drinking and you don't want to be, that's the key. if it's causing problems in your life and you feel like, I don't want to do this, but I feel compelled to, or I feel obsessed with this substance, I feel like I have to, then this huge amount of control allows you to look at that in earnest and to say, well, I'm going to liberate myself from this prison. I have what it takes in me to do that. Friday the 28th of July, we have the moon now going into Sagittarius at 2:24 in the morning. Hooray! We're coming out of the depths and we're coming back into the real world. Jupiter is ruled by, not Jupiter, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the lucky planet. So this is now about adventure and it's about exploring the physical world. So the focus really shifts. It's not, I want to stay home and paint and do my podcast. It's, I really want to go on a trip and have fun with my friends, and I want to go see the latest exhibition at the museum. I want the new, right? So the Sagittarius moon then squares Mars in Virgo and Saturn in Pisces. So again, it's a little bit of like, wah, wah. It's like I'm seeing something new, but you know, of course I understand this. I've seen similar things in the past. It's that kind of arrogant, almost, I know everything there is to know, nothing can surprise me. And then Saturn in Pisces, it's like, I know what's right for me. Interestingly enough, with this combo, if you are exploring new things on Friday and you run into something that seems very familiar, there may be an important connection between you and that thing or place or person, so watch out for that. The Sagittarius moon then trines the sun in Leo and quincunxes Jupiter in Taurus, so that's great. It's really like you feel good, you have energy, you can explore, do something fun that inspires you and that makes you feel like you're learning or you're just exposing yourself to interesting new things. Mercury goes into Virgo at 11:31 in the evening. Mercury rules Virgo. It's very happy in that placement, but it's a bit of a drag sometimes because it's all about order and sorting the good from the bad and making sense of things. It's not very fun loving, it's order loving. So the combination of this moon in Sagittarius, which is fun but can be a little excessive sometimes and a little irresponsible, and then Mercury going into Virgo, they balance each other out, and you can have fun but not go overboard, and you can do things which are enjoyable within reason. The Leo sun quincunxes Saturn in Pisces. So again, if I feel it's right, then it must be. That would be nice, right? If we were born with that sense of certainty, and we always kind of felt like whatever we feel or what resonates with us is right and good and true, it would save ourselves a lot of trouble. Like for instance, I was sent to a super fundamentalist Christian boarding school, right, when I was a kid. Oh, let's not get the bin in the picture. If I, at 10 or 11 years old, would have been able to say, do you know what, your ideology and dogmatic nonsense doesn't really appeal to me. It doesn't really ring true. Bye. I could have saved myself a lot of trouble. So on Friday overall, the weekend starts with this upbeat sense of adventure and an ease which hasn't been present all week. It's been kind of like, oh, I need to analyze and me. So you're kind of free from all of that and you can breathe. You feel safe and informed. Or if you're not informed, you know how to get the information to become informed. You may have the desire to explore something new or to go on a trip. And it's a good day to have fun and to be physically active. Just watch out for a tendency to find fault in things and instead deliberately say, I'm going to look at the positives here and I'm going to have a good time. Saturday the 29th of July, we have the Sagittarius moon squaring Neptune in Pisces. So now it's like I want to gallop off into the higher realms and astral project and see what's out there on a spiritual level. It trines Venus in Leo and Chiron in Aries. So my spiritual adventures can heal me. They can provide me with creative information. They can provide me with inspiration and healing ability. So, oh wow, I'm just getting this image of if I close my eyes on Saturday the 29th and I want to go on a spiritual mission. I'm going to the coast, this barge or boat appears. I jump into the boat, we sail off, and wondrous castles in the sky are there and all this amazingness. So sometimes that faculty within all of us, right, is really active and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you close your eyes and you just are flooded with all these amazing images and dreams. You know, like I met this girl once who would test if she's ready for bed. But in the evening, she would sit there and she'd be like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready for bed yet. Let me test it out. So she'd close her eyes and she was like, okay, if I'm getting images that I'm ready to go to sleep. If not, then I'm going to stay awake a little bit longer. And it's the same thing, right? Sometimes we just close our eyes and imagine something and it comes through in colors and it's rich and it feels almost real, like you can smell and taste things. And other times it's like very flat. Saturday is not going to be flat. Your imagination is fired. You're very connected to the higher realms. The Sagittarius moon quincunxes Uranus and Taurus. This keeps coming back all week. Any action you take will have long-term consequences, so make sure you are informed before you do act. And the Leo sun quincunxes Saturn in Pisces, still confident, still very certain of the self. So Saturday is kind of peaceful and fun and joyous in the sense that the details of your life aren't demanding too much from you, and it's like, I wanna do something new. And if you do, imagination wise or actually with travel, then there's the potential to have these wondrous experiences, to be inspired, to be spiritually very, very aware. Again, if you do readings or you heal people, you do pranic healing touch, that's an amazing day for it. And physical activity, competition, and exercise will feel liberating, even if you don't usually exercise. It's about pitting yourself against the world or other people in a physical, practical sense. And if you can find on Saturday, like let's say you never meditate or do yoga or nothing, right? And you've considered it. Saturday is a really good day to dabble and to experiment, because if you can find a spiritual practice that involves some sort of physical activity, so for instance, yoga, you'll benefit massively from that and feel really like, wow, I'm tapping into something valuable here. I'm just thinking, like being a human being is somewhat complicated. We have to take care of ourselves spiritually, we have to take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally. There's a lot to do, just managing the self. And those practices like yoga and chanting and meditation and stuff, yes, they're optional, but they actually work. And if you can, like for instance, if I meditate, right? I do transcendental meditation. But what I've started doing is I've started to go on the treadmill in the gym. Like I just walk 5 minutes and then I run. And I've noticed that in itself, I don't do the mantra, I just like walk and run. And I've noticed that that's a meditation as well. So if you don't feel like you can meditate, I find exercise a meditation, just because the rhythm of your body, especially like if you're running, it kind of lulls you into its own mantra. It's really useful. So if you've never tried any of those things, I'm a big believer in managing your time. I'm a Virgo. And yoga sorts you out physically and spiritually, then do that. You're sorting two things out at once. Why wouldn't you? Finally, we've got Sunday the 30th of July. The moon goes into Capricorn at 5:54 in the morning. I need to work, okay? I need to be practical. I need to get things done, okay? I'm talking as Capricorn would. The Capricorn moon then trines Mercury and Mars in Virgo, Earth, Earth, Earth. I need to get things organized. I need to work hard. And it trines Jupiter in Taurus, so we've got all Earth here. So this is very different, and it's weird because it's a Sunday, so it's not a business day, but you are like King Midas here. Anything in a practical sense you look at, you're able to organize and transform for the better. The Capricorn moon then sextiles Saturn in Pisces. I'm spiritually certain that I'm always right. And it quincunxes the sun in Leo. I'm physically certain that I am capable and also right. Venus in Leo quincunxes Neptune in Pisces, so creatively inspired, intuitively connected. That's possibly why you feel you're right, and you most likely are going to be right if you're spiritually guided and connected. But again, when working with other people, sometimes it's about a bit of give and take and allowing yourself to come across an idea or to be told of an idea that maybe you hadn't even considered. And you can't hear that new idea if you're telling people, be quiet, I'm right, do what I say. So it's the middle ground, right? So Sunday the 30th, this hard edge that's been present all week, where I mentioned you may be a little bit grumpy or untrusting of people, that's kind of been on the periphery, but it takes center stage here on Sunday and becomes even more pronounced. You're interested in results, numbers, and facts. You're not going to have a lot of time or patience for frivolous conversations or activity, which kind of is a shame because there's the potential to really socialize and to have a lot of fun with other people on Sunday, but you're very much in work mode. So instead, if you just don't have the patience to listen to someone's trip to Italy and then to look at the pictures because you want to be sorting out your books, then don't torture yourself. If you feel more comfortable getting things organized and getting things done, then do that. Make plans for the week, get things sorted, get things structured if that's what you're after, and engage in that. You'll be super, super productive. So it doesn't sound like, the easiest week when it comes to your own emotions, your own perspective on things, your relationships with others. But it sounds like a fabulous week when it is a fabulous week when it comes to taking charge of yourself and adapting your approach and breaking free of addictions or obsessions or things that make you feel trapped. So that could be a relationship which has run its course, but you're still there for whatever reason. So any of those things where you felt disempowered, you're getting so much power that you're able to unravel some of the things that have kept you stuck in your own life. And when it comes to other people, it's about deliberately being somewhat gentle and open and soft when it comes to those kind of connections. So it's good to control yourself and to exit the prison, but it's not so ideal to control another person completely, because then you're missing the value that they have to offer you, you see. So it looks like an interesting week, certainly. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video so other people can see it. And also, if you want to watch my daily tarot readings, please become a member of the channel. There are tons of benefits with that, like you get special emojis, and on live tarot videos you can ask a question and you get priority in terms of who I answer and things like that. So if you haven't been aware of that, I've only been back for a week pretty much. So I've started the new thing on the channel, which is membership. So your support would be ever so appreciated. And if you do want to become a member, that'd be great. Check that out on the channel. I hope you have a wonderful week here, and I will speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.